So I had issues with the previous live. I can't even get in there to tell people to come over here. So I'm hoping that people will see that this live is open and come over here. Hi guys. Thank you for coming over here. I'm hoping that other people will know to go out. Something just happened. It was just a fluke. I guess a lot of people must be online on YouTube. And so it just kicked me out. It wouldn't even let me connect. So I'm just sitting in here hoping that I get some more people coming in here. I can't even get into the group because it never let me in. So I have no way of rescuing people. And I didn't post a link over in Teaquilts, so real sorry about that. As always, some technical difficulties. So thank you all for coming. Well, I'll wait a few minutes just to see how many people will come over here. I had 17 over in the other group. And yeah, I feel really bad because I don't know what else to do. And I can't get in at all on my phone device or anything. So thank you all so much. So much is always something with technology. Thought I had something white on my face. I'm like, what is that? Don, I'm actually going to be sewing blocks. I'm going to stay on tonight until 1 a.m. Hey, bro, how are you? Happy New Year to you, too. And I am just going to, while I'm also doing this, I'm going to wait for people. Hi, Vivian. I'm glad you made it over here. I'm just going to show you some things that I ordered from Crafter's Companion. I do card making as well. And I paid $36.15 for this with the shipping. Shipping was $7. I ordered 3 things. I ordered 2 word dies. And I'll show you those first. This is the Dream Big word die. They've got it packaged in this envelope sort of thing. I haven't even opened it yet. I just opened it so I wouldn't have to, I opened the package so I wouldn't have to worry about what to do with it. So this is the size of it. And this was in there. I just ordered some things out their clearance section just to see how long it would take to ship. I ordered this I think the day after Christmas, so it took a week for it to come, which isn't bad during the Christmas season. And this Dream Big was $2.80. And then I got Thanks for Everything, which is how it looks in the package here. And this is the packaging. You have a frame that goes around the wording. And then here is the wording. It's a stamp, actually. I didn't know that. It's actually a stamp, and then I cut it out with this die cut. And so this one was $2.40. And I was just trying to find something cheap on their site. And then the other thing that I ordered, this was $24. And it's a mystery bag. And so you don't know what you're going to get. And so I'm always a glutton for punishment. I like to see if you really get your money's worth when you do stuff like this. And I figured some of the other card makers here might be willing to see that as well. I see I got 2 thumbs up. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button if you can. So I got lots of stamps and dies. So let me pull all of those out and then we'll just run through those real quick. Okay, I think I have them all. So remember, this is $24. And so I've got an embossing folder that just says just a little note. This is a cutting die. It has a nesting like labels, nesting frames. And then it says Merry Christmas and Season's Greetings. So I can definitely use those for my next year's Christmas cards. This one says it's an embossing folder on the front, which is weird, but it's a stamp set right here. And let me just see, make sure there's no embossing folder in here. But I don't know how it would be in an embossing folder. I think this is just bad packaging. So maybe that's why. But you can see here where it says embossing folder. There's no embossing folder. Another stamp set called All That Jazz. It's really cute too. I don't know where I would use that, but I could use the words. I don't know where I'd use the lady. This is an embossing folder. Right here, you can see it in this picture here. I don't want to open it or take too much time on this because I know you all are not, all of you all are not paper crafters. I started out doing scrapbooking. I still do some scrapbooking too. This one is a die set. Trying to find the name of it. I have no idea. Doesn't have a name on it, but it's a rose. And yeah, I think this is like a layer you can build up on or something. I don't know. I have never used that or seen that. This one is die. It's for creator cards. And you can use these edges to cut out fancy edges on your edge of your cards. These two. And then you've got frames, rectangles and ovals, and then some corner pieces here. And that's just a I'm looking on the back. This is the two edges. This is a corner piece. Then you've got your rectangles, ovals. This is just regular motifs that you can use, cut out. I like cutting out the motifs and stacking them. This is another creator card die. I'm just going to show you the back because it'll at least show you how they're using it, where they cut it out the card, and then you can also cut it in the card, or you can completely cut it out. So it's basically got these two die pieces here. Although it says it's 3 pieces on the packaging. Right here. It says 3 pieces, but I don't see 3 pieces. I don't know. This one is another creator card. It's a cut-in for your corner. So you can see this card here, how they used it. Also included are some Spectrum Noir markers. I've got the purples. They call them violets. And then the cool grays, which I have here. And I have the whole collection of Spectrum Noir markers, or at least I have at least 64. I don't know how many they have in their alcohol markers. So I don't know if I got these colors or not. I have to check. This is in the bag. I think that was just a mistake. Or maybe it isn't, because maybe it's a little squeegee thing where you can, I'm always trying to put paints or glues into little bottles. So maybe that's what that is. Okay. So it's not a mistake. It's just not in any packaging. And then I don't know. I know I've just bought some of their metallic paint. So I have not used their aqua tint. So this is a water paint. And it's just probably going to be flat with vivid colors. And the last thing in the bag is this box. But I'm going to put all this other stuff back just so I can get some room for myself. So $24 isn't bad because the paint is about $12. Markers could be 12 or more as well. It's been so long since I purchased them. I can't remember what I paid for those. And then all of the dyes, of course. I feel like all dyes are overpriced. So the dyes are expensive as well. And some of them I can actually use. So I'm just using some scissors here to open this box. This is Crafter's Inspiration. It says exclusive Christmas craft kit. So it looks like it's got all of these different things that you can do in here. I'm hoping that's what it means. Otherwise, why would it be on the packaging? So let's just see what's in here. I've never had one of these before. So first up is that they have a stamp set for the kit. They have a die set, snowflake circle with that cuts in, and then you can also cut out. This actually is an ornament. I just see it. It's an ornament, really cute. So you can cut it into the card or you can cut it out. An embossing folder. Got a DVD here or a CD with, I'm sure it's just going to link you right back to their YouTube channel. But it's actually got a CD in here. It says 9 exclusive digital collection. So you can actually probably print the paper on there, so there's no paper in this kit. And then also the magazine that has all of the projects in here that you can make. So not bad for $24 and just blindly ordering something that I could possibly use. So I have never printed my own paper, but I guess the paper kit would then go with all the dies and embossing folders. I did not bring Kleenex in here. And I got my eye watering for some reason. It hadn't done that all day. So that's very strange. And then the other thing I wanted to show you all. Welcome to the people that have just come in. I haven't gone through the chat thing yet. I'll do a quick run and then we'll talk about the block swap. But I wanted to just show you. I went to the post office today and had a box from Miss Benita out of North Carolina. She says, hey Miss T, I was waiting on one thing and it finally came today. I thought you might like it. Merry Christmas, Benita. And so she's got, I opened the box up. I was gonna open it and then I saw she had everything like concealed, so I decided I'd wait until I got on live since I just got it today. So it's a gift bag here. Let's see what's inside. It's in a bag. Bonita needs to be on the, she seemed like she worked for the post office. I got spacers in here as well. She packaged like she's used to doing this. She's got tape on the box. Gonna close, just get all the tape. And if you're hearing anything, the idiots in my neighborhood are already shooting their guns. Any excuse. Oh, wow. It's a chain. It's a clock. Oh my goodness, look at this. I can't even, I've got to hold this up so you all can see it. But look at that, and it's a working clock. I have never seen anything like that. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Benita. I don't even know if I want to put it on because I'm sewing in here. I don't want to get it caught anywhere. I'm going to lay it right here. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That's really cute and unique. And then another box here that's wrapped. Like I said, she needs to be working for these wrapping and packaging companies. She's really good. This one says music. Let's see. On the box anyway. I don't know what's inside. Let's see. Okay, so it is what's on the outside. This is the box. I don't think there's anything. Okay, just making sure I don't want to miss anything. Bonita come contacting me. Wow. It's pretty cool. I want to see if it's playing music. I don't know why my eyes started watering. I just put the fan on right before I went live. So it could be that. Yeah, so. Yes, it is. This is pretty cool. I'm winding the box and haven't even showed it to you all yet. Okay, I probably need to do some research on this, because I can't get it to play. I'll figure it out, but this is what it is. Just beautiful. Look at that. Oh, I had to open the drawer. Isn't that something? So here you all go, so you can see it's got the patterns over here. And this right here is rotating. Isn't that cool? That is something else. And then this is the side where I was twisting it. And it's got a postage stamp or something over there like. That's really cool. Well, thank you so much. That is so unique. Now, I have not been like online searching for things, but I have never seen either one of these items. But this is really, really cool. So thank you so much, Bonita. I really, really, really appreciate it. I can't wait to show my husband. I'm going to sit that over here. And then I'm just going to toss these containers onto the floor for now, because I'm going to start talking about the block. But I do want to go in and recognize some of you all. I see you're welcome, Bonita. You are just so sweet. I have to get back in because I couldn't even get into the previous one. It wouldn't even pull up for me, and I saw you all in there from the one where I was trying to go in. Let you all in, but wouldn't let me in. So we've got Pamela. Thank you for coming back over. Teresa McCormick. Dawn is here. Rose. Cheryl. L.A. Quinn. Don says, what is planned for tonight? I'm going to actually be sewing on the blocks. I just wanted to show these two things here first. Bonita's saying Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year, everybody. I know in some, where she is, it is New Year's right now. So Happy New Year to you. And Kelly is here. Rose says, I'm fine. I couldn't believe it when I happened to see that you were going to be on tonight. Yeah, I added it into the last video that I uploaded today where I cut the blocks. And you didn't miss anything, Bonita, because we got kicked out of the other live. It wouldn't even let me in, so you didn't miss anything. Vivian got over here. Claudette Bettis is here. She says, hi, TN, everyone. Happy New Year. Judy is here saying Happy New Year. Vicky is here. She says Happy New Year's. 22C Bree says Happy New Year from South Carolina. Pamela says, are those for your Cuttlebug? I actually have a Big Shot die cutting machine. I have a Silhouette. Is that Silhouette? I think I have a Silhouette die cutting machine too. Damali J says Happy New Year to you and everyone from Fort Washington, Maryland. Happy New Year. Slowing Down Joe is here. She says, okay, I found you. Thank you for coming over. I know it was a little confusing. And Damali says, thank the Lord, you sound like your cold is gone. It's almost gone. I got one more day of prednisone. That seems to have been what done the trick this time. So I'm glad I didn't have to get antibiotics, though. Sarah Raglan is here. She says, hello to you and everyone. Happy New Year. Anna Williams says, adorable. Yes, they are. Those gifts are just too pretty. A lot of people are commenting on the clock. And then Bonita is telling me to pull the drawer. That is too cute. I can't wait to show that to my husband. And people trying to help me out with it. That's too funny. Comic Court says, Happy New Year to you from your nephew, Courtney. Hi, Courtney. What you doing on here? Pamela Tabor says, that is too cute. Rhonda is saying, nice gifts. Is Eric Oda in here? Because it's saying that Eric is putting your comments in timeout. I don't know what that's about. So sorry about that. That's some more confusion. Francesca is here. Hi, Francesca. Happy New Year. Teresa, I don't know your last name, says, first time seeing this. Hello from Guam. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much for popping in. Are you a quilter? Eric says he dropped the phone, Rhonda. He's putting you in timeout because he dropped the phone. That is too funny. Judy says, hello, Teresa. Glad you found us. Pamela says, what time is it in Guam? My nephew says, laughing out loud, I saw you were streaming and just wanted to say hi. Yes, Lord. Well, thank you for stopping in. And yes, I am starting to feel better. That prednisone was a real big help. So I'm just going to talk about first on this block swap. I've been getting some questions, most of them in my Facebook group and then a few of them in the comment section on YouTube. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Teaquilts is having a block swap for 2020. 50 blocks are due May 31st. And people are having questions about them. I will, after this video goes live, I'll put a link to the video that talks about it. That video also have the link to where the patterns are. Even if you weren't participating, you can still go get the pattern as a free download. But basically, we're going to make Ablum blocks. And so I've been getting people asking about the block style because we kind of, when Kevin made the instructions, he kind of did it in a log cabin style, and people were wanting to know, as long as the white rectangle was kind of center-ish, if that was okay, and it could be kind of crumb style. Of course it can. You don't have to worry about trying to keep it in a log cabin style. We just want your white square to be center-ish, meaning that it's not on the outside 10 inches of your crumb block, okay? Hopefully you understand that. We're trying to get it more toward the center. It doesn't have to be center spot on, though. It can even be a little off. That's fine, too. So, oh my gosh, Anna Williams is popping in $20 donation. Thank you so much. She says, and it says, you are amazing. Well, thank you so much, Anna. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. And then on the second thing, people were talking about that they had sold some blocks and couldn't get the blocks to be exactly 14.5 inches. And there's a reason why we had you put the frames on the blocks, and I'll talk about that in the next comment, because people were saying that with 50 blocks, it's going to be too big with 50 blocks. And the reason why those frames are on there is because every quilter has their own special 1/4 inch seam. And if we left it up to them totally on their own, none of these blocks will probably fit together once we did the swap. So that frame is on there so that you can square that framing up to any size that you like. You can pick whatever size you want. If you want to make 13 cut it down so that the square the blocks up to 13.5 inches, then that would be just great. And with that being said, when you then square those blocks up, let's see, 13 times, if you do a 6x7 setting, say you have 42 blocks, and I'm doing 6x7 because you may have some people, we may not get everybody that participate. I can't control what people do and whether they follow through and send their blocks in. So I'm thinking if you did a 6x7 quilt setting and your blocks were 13x6, so 13 times 6, I'm trying to read the comments, that's 78. Plus another 13 would be 91. So that's a 78 by 91 quilt. It's a quilt that basically can go on a twin size bed, sort of. So it's not really as big as you think. And then I tried to put in some wiggle room if people did not submit the blocks, if you didn't get 50 people actually submitting the blocks, and I'm hoping at least 42 of them do come up. With that being said, I still have 2 openings. It seems like I can never fill these last 2 spots. I get people that are in and then I get cancellations on them. I've been getting a few cancellations. So right now I have still 2 spots available with a possible third because one person from Germany wants to participate, but we're trying to check and see how much it would cost for her to do the postage on that. And let's see. Next thing I want to talk about, I did the video today where I showed you how to cut, and I did it without any fast forwarding, so it is a 20-minute video on just how to cut 2 fabrics, and I apologize for my advanced quilters, but every time I do a video and I'm teaching something and then I cut once the regular way and then I speed it up after that, I have a lot of my beginners coming in saying that they got lost, they didn't understand what I was doing, and so I just decided to do this video without any speed up of the actual video material. So with that being said, once you get cut, you do want to figure out some sort of system for organizing. Now, most of us people that have been quilting for a long time, we got plenty of scraps. So I can pull a string quilt out my hat at any time without doing any cutting of actual strings because I've learned how to cut strings and create them as I'm working on other stuff. So, but I do want to talk about being organized. When you start sewing with this, it'll be great for you to get organized. And I want to show you the, the thumbnail that I used for this video. That was not my setup. That is the setup of Dee Dee Hansen, and I asked her if I could share that with you all, and she said yes, and then I'm going to show you how I am set up here to sew. But I'm just going to pop this picture up here right quick. You can see in the back where she's already working on her blocks, got things going in there, and then here you can see where she has this rack, kind of like a dryer stand of something, or a quilt stand or something. It could be a number of things. And I think it's like what you would dry your clothes on. And she's got her strips hanging on it. And she says, so that way, if she wants to pull particular colors, then she can do that. So I thought that was real creative. And for some of you people that are real visual, that maybe you would like to see this photo as well. So she's well on her way to making her blocks. She's got quite a few of them back there at the 10.5-inch size. And she's apparently waiting until she gets done with most of them, or a good chunk of them, before she put the black sashing on. And that's why that sashing is 2.5 inches. So you can decide how much of that black sashing you want to show when you get your blocks. So, some things you're going to need. I'm just working here in my area. I've got some snippers. I just pulled the first pair. Scissors that I can cut some fabric with. I do have a rotary cutter in case I need to rotary cut something that's too thick or too cumbersome for me to cut with scissors. I have 2 rulers. I got a small one, and then I got one that is 10 inches long. You really could just use this one here. What I do with these rulers is, as I'm building my blocks, I kind of know what size piece of fabric I need to add on next, and I kind of got my fabric grouped into piles, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And then I do have pressing mat here. I do have a little mini iron in here if I want to iron, but I'm going to try not to press while I'm working on these blocks. And then as I put starch in my fabric before they became scraps. And so I got one block here that I pieced, and I have not used the iron. Now, at this point is where I would go press all of this nice and flat, and then I would square them up to 10.5 inches. Because I have not pressed this with the iron, it does not get squared up yet. So I did a block and started on a second one while I was waiting to go live, just so you all can see that. And then I also have a cutting board, my rotating mat here for cutting. And then I just got my press mat sitting on top. I'm hoping that I don't have to press at all, is my goal. And I'm going to bump you all around for a little bit, because I'm going to show you how my fabrics are on my cutting table behind me. Hold on. So, right here, when I was, I like to press my strings. I know a lot of people, they just pull the strings out and they don't press them. I like to press my strings out. And then when I first started, this was all in one pile. This was my third, my second, third, and then my fourth pile over here. Up here I have one more pile of those oddball shapes, just in case I need something. Don't know if I'll even touch that pile, but I put some there just in case. And then over here, what I did, my center rectangle is 2.5 by 3.5. And so I made a stack of things that were at least 2.5 inches long. And then these were at least 3.5 inches long. But all of this is less than 4 inches over here. Up here are those things that I could sew pieces together so that I can use these. Sometimes I have a longer strip that could be just a little bit short. And then I will pull one of these pieces, sew it onto the short strip, and then I'll sew that short strip back onto the block with the extra piece on. This stack is like my 8 inches to 9 inches or less. Over here, I've got the pieces that are 10 inches, just slightly too little to be put into the block. And then over here are my super long pieces. And I'm sorry, I'm shaking. I got this, my iPad is the big one, and it's kind of heavy in this one hand. And it's in my right hand, and I'm left-handed. So that doesn't help. But I just wanted to let you see my setup. I even brought a bottle of water in here just in case I decide I want to do some pressing in here, which I'm hoping that I'm not. I want to do it all at my big system. Turn you all back around. All right, so being organized on this is real important. And then I like to do chain piecing as well. Got this running eye again. I don't know where that come from. And so I've just taken out a few of my pieces. If you want to keep track of how many you're doing, pull out a set number. I pulled out 10 total because I need to get at least 10 of these done in the month of January. Now I could do a whole lot more, but if I work on them in 10s, then I can kind of keep up with where I'm at in the process. So that's what that is. And then in this container here, that's up under my, I've got my pieces, my white and black pieces are in here. And as I make blocks, I will be putting those in here as well. So just keeping organized and trying to keep everything together. And then this system here is really good too, if that works well for you. I don't have a whole lot of floor space, so it wouldn't work for me, but I really love her creativity on how she's keeping her things in order. And then I'm one of those people too that I like to use all the little bitty pieces. And so you can see here where I've even started putting some little pieces together so that I can use this on my 2.5 inch side. And I even got some where I've been putting them together for my 3.5 inch side. So it just depends on which side I want to start on the rectangle when I start. So I'm just going to go back real quick through the comments, and then I'm going to be moving you all down so that I can start sewing. I'm actually going to sew, and I've got to keep track of time so we don't miss midnight, which is only 20 minutes. I don't think I need my rotary cutter right now. I got my wooden iron, but sometimes I just use my thumbnail, which is bad, but I do. Just gonna move some of this out the way so I'm gonna have to pull you all down. So I'm trying to monitor these cords. Plug this back in. But let me check first before I put you down on the sewing level. Vicky Lemire says Happy New Year's. She's mostly saying it to Eric, but I'm sure she's saying it to everybody. And she says it's 0 degrees in Michigan. Oh my goodness. Sharice is here. She says Happy New Year to everybody. Rhonda says, wait, I missed something. How many are in the swap group? There are 50 slots for the swap group. That's where I closed it off at. We currently have 48 people in it. Dewan is here. She says, hello, T&, everyone. Hi, welcome to the live chat. Judy says, hi, T and all. Happy New Year. Rose says, I had one of those dryer racks for that purpose, and Roger fell and broke it late this fall. I hope he's okay. And Francesca's loving that rack idea. And Pamela also is loving the rack. She says that's a great system for sewing scraps. Jennifer is here. Hi, Jennifer. Don't forget to send me your mailing address, Jennifer. She says, Happy New Year, everyone. Dewana says, Happy Blessed New Year, everyone. Margot Campbell says, Happy New Year to you all. And Carolyn Bowser is here. She says, Happy New Year, T and all. Happy New Year to everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and hopefully I'm just going to be doing some sewing. If you all want to do some chatting, you can do that. I'll try to talk a little bit as I start this. I know I'm not going to get much work done. I don't tend to get as much done when I'm sewing with you all. Francesca wants me to show my shirt. It says, don't worry, be scrappy. Right there. So I'm going to put this down. Whoops. I got my cell phone stand back there. Let me move that up. And trying to make it so you can see this sewing machine right here. All right. So if I'm sewing here, I can show you there. You just can't see my face. But I'll pull out my small ruler to start. And then I've got like my 8 pieces here that I can start with. And when you start on these, you can start on the 3.5 inch side. You can start on the 2.5 inch side. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to take 4 of these. I'm going to work on 4. I like chain piecing because I always keep something behind my sewing machine. Put you back there so you can see that a little bit. And so what I'll do is I'll take the pieces that I've tried getting up to that 2-inch size, and then I can put that on. There they go. Do you all hear these gunshots? Right behind my head. That is not cool at all. So you can put it on the 2-inch side. These are the pieces that I cut so that they were at least 2 inches wide. And notice that I still got some overhang over here. I haven't squared or trimmed anything up yet. Sometimes I'll just use my scissors to do that, or I can just rotary cut it off. And then I'm just going to sew that piece down. And then I got another one that I'm going to put on the 2.5 inch side. And so at least as long as it's 2 inches or more, I'm okay. Then I'll put that one down. I keep getting people asking me to show how to make crumb blocks, and I've got so many videos up showing that process, but apparently I need to sit here and sew so people can see it. Now I'm using this piece here. This is my 3-inch, so I'm going to put it on the 3-inch side. Just like that. And I've got all of this extra here. I'm not even worried about that right now. I'm just sewing that 3-inch side. So it doesn't matter which end I start with, long as I've got a piece of fabric that's big enough for me to do that. That's the main thing. I try to line up on one corner so that when I'm stitching this, I can then cut this piece off and add that into my little scrap pile, so there's hardly any waste when I do this. So when I sew off of that, sometimes I'll make sure that I don't sew on that fabric. I'll just move it around off from under my needle. I'll just sew off. And then I just clip all of them that I can. This one here is one that I was working on just to show you the sample when I first started. And again, sometimes I'll use my wooden iron. I mostly use that when I'm paper piecing. Sometimes I'll just use my thumbnail. And then I've got this piece here that's already started. And I'm just going to put this to the side because I don't want to confuse the newbies. Now I've got all of these pieces that I just sewed to. I'm just going to press the seams up. Since I have some starch in here, they will stay flat with just me using my fingernail. If it's not a whole lot of seams, like this one has a whole lot of seams, but I just make it fit. Just make it do what I want it to do. Okay, so now I can take my scissors if I want, and I can trim this off like this extra here. But what I like to do is I just wait until I go around and connect to that piece, and then I cut it out after I sew it. So now I've got these 3 pieces here. Remember back here, I've got all of my things in stacks of sizes. So I'm just going to go pull a stack a little bit bigger and see what I can use to put on my next side. This center does not have to be center spot on. So I just found this piece here. It's just a tad bit shorter, but I'm going to go ahead and sew that on here anyway. It's all about using what you have. So I've got this piece, and then if I don't have anything in that pile that match or it's long enough, then I'll just pull up another stack and then I'll place on my sewing machine. And then I don't mind if the pieces are too long, just long as they're not too short. This one has a selvage on it and I don't want to see it. So I am going to cut that off. Sometimes when I do scraps, I sometimes get scraps from other people because I don't remember using these fabrics. But yeah, I just make sure that I get the selvage off. And so I've got this much. I could take my scissors and just go ahead and whack that and get rid of it. I can keep it or I can trash it. I'm going to trash this just because I'm not a fan of solid fabrics anyway like that. So I'm using the good chunks of it. I know it didn't come from my stash, so I'm already recycling somebody else's stuff. But you could keep those. And I normally would keep stuff like that and then add it onto a piece that's just slightly too little. Now I'm doing the next piece. The nice thing about these blocks is that I don't have to worry about being super scrappy. Like when I'm doing my own quilt and I'm making 50 blocks for myself, I only use a fabric 4 times in my quilt. Now Kevin the quilter, he will only use a fabric once if he can help it. And I do 4, but since I'm making blocks and every last one of these blocks are going to be swapped with somebody else, I don't even have to worry about how many times I use this green fabric. I'm just going to use it up. And I'm just going to cut it off with my scissors just to get rid of it and stitch it on down. And like I said, I don't even want to see any more of these fabrics, so I'm not even worried about saving those little pieces. But I got a whole little stack here from me previously working that I have kept. over here. And I even got a piece of green, but it's a little bigger. So I've got other pieces that I've cut off of pieces that I've already used. So when I'm short just a little piece, I'll sew that piece on. So this is what I have thus far. So my piece is getting a little bit longer. And if I want to go across the short side, I can try to see if I can find something that will work. You don't have to go straight log cabin style. This will work on the other side. So I've got this extra piece here hanging off, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and sew that, ignore that piece, and I'll trim it later. Or if it was my quilt, I would just leave it in there because I'm long arm machine quilting. I don't care how many layers are underneath. That's more warmth for me. But since I'm swapping these blocks, then I'll go ahead and trim my excess fabric this time. But if I was doing this for me and knowing that I'm quilting on a long arm frame, I wouldn't even worry about it. So now I've got this piece here. See if I can find another piece I can add. And you just keep building these blocks up until you get to the size that you want. And it could be any size. You make your own size if you're doing your own quilt. For this block, we need these to be sewn up to 10.5 inches. So I like to make my blocks at least 11 inches so that I can square them up how I like when it's time for me to square up. I just had a piece of thread stuck in a seam. And that happens a lot with crazy quilting or crumb quilting. So here we go with this piece. I just want to find something to go across. And if my piece here is just a little bit too short, so I'm going to find something else. That's good. And I'm also using my knee lift. If you have a knee lift, this would be the perfect opportunity to use your knee lift. So I can always keep my hands up here. I don't have to go back here lifting my presser foot. This is the piece I need to trim off. And it's like starting to fray on the ends, so it's not much usable fabric here. This is the kind of stuff that I throw away. This is like 3/4 of an inch with the fraying, and that's not going to do good for me in my quilt block. It'll be just a sliver, if anything. And again, I'm just finger pressing, adding a piece on. As long as it's bigger than my line here, I just keep adding pieces on. Oops, still got one more here. I'm going to trim this off. And this is another one that's kind of tiny too with a lot of frays. So it's bigger on one side, but it's got a lot of fraying over here. So that's not going to work either. So that's the kind of stuff that I actually toss on this. Now, if I was making fabric like on my long arm by stitching in between, stitching just raw fabric or strings between 2 layers of water-soluble stabilizer, then I would save and use that stuff. But I can create this kind of stuff all the time. So I don't need to worry about that right now. So now I'm up to my next size. I'm going to move my smaller units. This is the next size up. See if any of this stuff will fit. And if not, then I'll grab from the next pile. So I'll just get some of those as well. So now I always try to keep 2 piles to choose from on my machine because I don't know what size I'm going to need. So this is too short. I could add a piece from over there, but I've got this pile over here, so I may as well use it. And I am trying not to use the same fabric in the block twice. I am trying to make sure that all of my fabrics are unique. I'm going to go ahead and just slip this, cut that, put this in my pile. And I will read the chat. I'm going to stop, so I'm trying to keep track of time. We got a few more minutes. I'm going to stop a couple minutes until before the new year. So that's why I'm trying to get some sewing done really fast here. Always keeping something under my needle so I'm not breaking thread. And then I am getting a sign that my bobbin is low. When you start something like this, make sure you wind plenty of bobbins because you're going to go through a lot of bobbins. And another thing I can recommend for bobbins is when you're sewing like tote bags and things like that, and you had to use color thread. I use up all of those bobbins because it doesn't matter what thread you're using on this. I'm trying to get all of my pieces with something on all sides of the white at this point. I think my bobbin just ran out because it bunched up, I could tell. And my bobbin ran out right here. So I've been having that message saying your bobbin's low, but I run it all the way out. Another thing for newbie people, at this point in the game, it's not even important that you know what your 1/4 inch seam is. This is relaxed piecing. You don't have to be perfect here. Goodness gracious, can you all hear that? I mean, they're like right behind me. So it's 11:56 according to my watch. So, need one long one here. This fabric, be careful with fabric, especially donated fabric. See this? That's a tape stain. I don't want that in my quilt. I'm just going to toss it. Somebody gave me that because I haven't even used that fabric. And also, don't be afraid to use seasonal fabric either. Adds interest into the quilts. Goodness gracious. It's 11:57. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Just gonna hold off for a minute. Move you all back up. You're gonna be an up and down thing here. Let's see. Thank you, Laura. She says she loves the shirt. She says, Happy New Year to everyone. Beverly Seabaugh is here. She says, Happy New Year to everyone. And Eric says, gunshots. Are you in LA? No. Remember, I'm in the St. Louis metropolitan area. Yes, Lord. And it's right. It's the people. I got my yard. I have a huge yard, huge backyard. And my backyard touches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 yards. It's 5, but then I got the other gate, but he's not on my gate. So I got 6 houses, so it's somebody right behind me. It's not the 2 on the, I got 3 people on the sides. And so it's not the people on the sides. They're right behind me. I just hope he keep it pointed up. It's ridiculous. And Cheryl says, we have a lot of fireworks. Yeah, we do too. Sound like they having a field day out there. And those are not fireworks. Rose Justice says hello from Aiken, South Carolina. Hi, Rose. Welcome to live chat. And Francesca says sounded like door knocking. No, honey. Does it cost anything to be in a swap? No, it doesn't. You just have to pay to ship your blocks to and from, and all of that information is included in the instructions. Pamela says, you are brave. When it gets close to midnight here, I'll be hiding from bullets. Too many drunks in this area. Yeah, this is a new thing for us. This past year, our particular area has really changed where we've had a lot of, I've been in this home since 1996, and a lot of the people that we moved in with, or they were elderly, we were the only ones that had a child when we moved in. And so a lot of those people have either passed, or they have been, or in nursing homes. And so the families or the people who are buying them or renting them out. So we don't have as many homeowners in the area anymore. So that's the problem. But guess what, guys? Happy New Year's. It's actually midnight here in St. Louis area. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you all so much for giving me a great year. I did so much in 2019, actually legalizing my business as far as making it a limited liability corporation. I got into t-shirt business. I did really good with that, so thank you all for supporting me with that as well. So I really appreciate everything. Looking forward to the Teaquilts 2020 retreat. Looking forward to swapping quilt blocks. Thanks to Kevin the quilter. But yeah, I have done so much this year, and it's some things that I didn't quite get done. I did vend just once. I vended at my quilt show, but I might do more vending next year. At local quilt shows, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. This is ridiculous out here. But yeah, so it was some things I wanted to get done in 2019 that I didn't get done. I had a couple of family members that passed, and so I had to do some impromptu trips. I had a trip that I took my mom and my aunt to Mexico. That was funny. And so, I got some positive things out of 2019. It was some things that I didn't quite get done. I was sad that I was sick toward the end of 2019 because it has now thrown off my 2020 January, because I have things I need to do for my scrap quilting club that I have not done. But I did want to get some videos up for you guys because I knew that you all had been patiently waiting for some of those videos. Also, I probably will only do live next Wednesday. I don't even know if I'm going to do live tomorrow because we may end up either eating with family, or I might go out with my daughter for New Year's for dinner. We tend to be at family home, but it's normally at my mother's house, and she's getting older, and she may not want to do it tomorrow, but I may not be here for live tomorrow, so that's why I'm here. Another reason I'm here today, because I don't want to miss you all. So, yeah. Eric is too funny, saying deadline is the 31st and you've got 20 minutes to sign up. He's talking to Laura. If you want, I still got 2 empty spots. I'm just gonna keep telling everybody to make 50 blocks. And if I fill those 2 spots, whenever they're filled, they'll be filled, because I have a feeling that it's going to be some more people probably dropping out of the swap. So the more people in it, the better at this point. Laura's asking, T, where do I sign up? There's a quilting video that I did on Teaquilts Live about 3 weeks ago. So go check my video list, and it says Teaquilts Live. Teaquilts 2020 block swap. Tiffany is here. She says, my internet is sketchy, but hello, T, and howdy, everyone. Hi, Tiffany. Happy New Year. Okay, so she's saying she's trying to upload her video, and she's having trouble staying on while she's doing that, which is a problem with the internet service. So we'll see you next time, Tiffany. Kelly says, I've watched many of your videos, T, but never been able to participate in the live. So glad I could tonight. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kelly, for coming and joining us. I appreciate that. Marge Campbell says, I have so much mismatched fabrics. This would be a great idea for using some of it up. Yes, it is. And this is the nice thing. Some people, I have a friend that she can't sew anything together that's not matching. And me, I can sew anything together. Karen, you're right. It's right in my back. It's a good thing. The only thing that's really saving me is, and it's not that it's like saving me, but I feel confident, is because my backyard is wider, and if they're actually shooting up, I'm okay. Because my yard, I got a bigger backyard than I do front yard. Yeah, but it's ridiculous. It is pretty close. Kelly A says, I just finished watching your video about the block swap, and if you have any spots still open, I would love to participate. I've already saved the instructions PDF that was linked in that video. And that is Kelly A. I'll go ahead and write you down on the list. Kelly. And I gotta put block swap. Otherwise, I'll be wondering what is this Kelly for. Okay, so I have you down, Kelly. And Laura, I'll just put you on the list. You can sign up through here, and you're going to have to find the video that I have. I already gave you the information on that. And after this go live, I will link it up at the eye above to be up here. And then if you change your mind, Laura, just let me know. Joyce Rockamore is here. She says, Happy New Year. Happy sewing. Thank you so much, Joyce. Welcome and Happy New Year to you. And Pamela says, if you're still on, I'll see you after midnight. I'll be back. Yes, Lord. Pamela's out. Here I am, still sitting here with all this ruckus going on behind my head. Vicky says, hope to get a new roof. It's leaking in my front room. Oh my goodness, that's critical. Laura says, I want more time for quilting. Exactly. Karen Carswell says, a happy and peaceful new year to you, T, and everybody. Thank you, Karen. Tiffany, I finally figured out my system. I had to end up calling. I have AT&T internet, which is with our phone company. And I ended up calling them, and I now have 24 something. I was at 12. And so now I have 24. And remember when I was telling you all if I had a 30-minute or an hour video, I've been uploading different lengths of videos to test it. I've been uploading videos in like an hour and a half for that 40-minute video. And like if it's a 20-minute video, it can go as quick as like 30 or 40 minutes. So check with your internet provider, Tiffany, because I didn't even know that I was sitting here struggling for years, and it was basically my internet provider on the upload. So hopefully it'll work. And we haven't had a whole lot of spooling here tonight, so I'm hoping that it's going to help with this, but the guy said he wasn't sure, the technician that came in. So Debbie is here. She says, Happy New Year from Ohio. Welcome, Debbie, to chat. Thank you so much. I've got 55 people in chat. Please hit the thumbs up button for me, please, while I'm reading, and then I'm going to try to get through some of this. You all are talking in here. And Cherie says, what's that knocking? Be careful. Those are gunshots, girl. And Tiffany said that that's what I've been hearing all night, and we have an hour to midnight. Yes, mine started over here at 11:30 or so. Carolyn says, I am enjoying the block swap. I just completed 10 already. Yes, and I think once you sit down, 50 blocks might seem like a lot, but you're not cutting any exact pieces other than that framing fabric and your centerpiece that you start with. And that doesn't even have to be consistent, because we're not going to put a ruler up and check that square to see if it's a 2x3 once it's sewn in. So really your most critical cutting and piecing or your black border strips. And when you sew those together, as long as you're within 1/4 of an inch or so of what the block should be, which is 14.5 inches square, then we're okay with that. So we planned this block for people. So if you got beginners and advanced people, the blocks are still usable in some sort of way. You're going to square those blocks up to whatever size you want. And Carolyn says, once you get started, it's so relaxing. Virgie is here. She says, maybe you should continue from under the desk. Happy New Year to you and everyone. Yes, Lord. Oh, gosh. Cherie says, who cleaned their sewing room for New Year? If not, it'll stay dirty for the entire year. A Jamaican superstition thing. I just clean up my desk area here so that I can sew. I do plan to spend the next few days, because I'm not going to do any video editing. I need to work on information I need to get to Scrap Club members. And then I need to, I want to clean my long arm, because I got something else coming, and I'm going to have to pull a couple things from out of from under my long arm thing. So I'm waiting for that. I hope I can videotape when I do what I'm doing, but I don't know. I have to check on that. And it's going to be some interesting things coming to Teaquilts in 2020. Karen says it's 6 a.m. in 2020 here in the UK. Oh, so it's been Happy New Year for you. Teresa's reminding people to thumbs up. Rosalind Lloyd is here. She says, hi, T. Happy New Year. Hi, Rosalind. Happy New Year. Rhonda says, your neighborhood sounded like mine did an hour ago. I've lived in rural Countryville for 8 years and still not used to the holiday shooting. That sounds like somebody got a cannon out there. Joyce is also saying thumbs up button, please. Vicky says, if someone shoots a gun off up here, the cops will be visiting them. You know what the problem is on holidays is that they can't be everywhere, because almost all the people are doing it, and they only got so many cops on the job, people having holiday schedules. So this happens around, not this bad. This is the worst it has ever been. I'm not kidding you. But on even just like the 4th of July, you have a few random people out shooting their guns. But this is just ridiculous tonight. I have never had it this bad. So they're just showing off for you all. And like I said, in the past year, we've had a switch over in who our residents are. So we mostly got renters instead of buyers. Bye, Marge. She says, good night, everyone. Eric says, my goodness, sounds like Cinco de Mayo next door. Yes, it does. I said, this is ridiculous. And Tiffany says, my room is clean. I can't say the same for the garage where the long arm is. Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and put you all back down. I just wanted to read some of the chats, and I'm just going to try to sew some more blocks. What time is it now? It's 12:13. So trying to, so you can see this chain piecing through here. This is my chain piece. Whew. Yep. And the sad thing is, you know, I had not planned to ever move in my life. I don't want to move. But I may not have a choice. I'm not making any plans to move. You know, I'm just saying, these people are losing their minds over here. That's ridiculous. Like I said, I just hope they keep it up in the air. See if I can push you back. So I got my light clamped onto the table right here. So I got that little stand right there as well. Move these rulers up for a minute. So getting a little bigger here. This one's got pieces all around the center now. And this was that piece that I started with, that I just did that random piecing to make it a longer piece. So I really love scrapping up pieces that I really like. If it's the ugly stuff, then I'm not so keen on doing it. And like I said, if this was my block, I would just leave this in here. I'm going to try to be good, but after, you know, I'm just starting. This might end up being in some people's blocks later on. So I'm trying to be a good girl. But in my blocks, I just leave all of that stuff in here. So now I just need another piece that's wide enough to sew. And in all actuality, I don't even live too far from the police department. They know this stuff going off. Too small. This small one up there. I don't even know. I think that one just got put in this pile by accident or something. So that one's a smaller one too. Maybe this is the, yeah, this should be up to 8 or 9 inches pile. That was pretty little. That one's short too. And you see how this one is short? And that's where I will sometimes use the little small pieces that I got off here to the side and just add those on. Things that you think you can't use, I would just sew those on. And then I'll sew another block so I can get that one piece off and then toss it onto this piece here. Oops, I didn't connect. I think these people behind me are starting to get on my nerves. And then this is the one that I added that little piece onto. So then I'll just finger press that. And now I can add this onto my piece. It's just a little bit short, but that's okay. I can take care of that in trimming. And notice that my ends are not straight here. I just make this a straight line. I don't care about all this extra fluff down here. And then I sew that 1/4 inch seam from the edge of the straight fabric. See if I can see what's going on. Teajuana says it's fireworks around there. He say his neighbors are doing the Macarena. So now I'm gonna pull my big ruler down because this piece is getting a little bigger, and just so I can know what I need. Right now I'm sitting at where I have, like, if I got a piece that's 2 inches wide, I can put it on either side of this, and then I'll have my 10 inches. So I just may do that if I can find a piece that's 2 inches wide or more, because I can trim it. So I've got this big piece here, definitely more than that width, and I'm just gonna cut it so that it's sort of kind of the same size. It's a little bit bigger. Put this in my recycle pile, and then I'm just gonna sew that on, and then I'll save whatever I trim off of this because it's a huge piece. It's like 4 inches. It's more than 2 inches. So I'll just save that piece. Oh, I got one stuck under my board here. So, and then I don't want to repeat fabrics either. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't put the same fabric in here. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm not caring about how many times I'm using a particular fabric because all the blocks are going to go to different homes. So now this one is way longer than it needs to be right here. So I'm going to put it on my board, and then I'm going to estimate where 11 inches is. It's not really that much. And then just cut that off so that I'm not wasting fabric as I add to the sides to get it to the 10.5 inches. And this was all that I cut off. It wasn't a whole lot. So I got a stack back here that are super long pieces, and I just want to make sure that I'm not using the same fabric. So here's a piece here. I'm just gonna measure me off an approximate piece, cut it, and then I'm gonna go back and get a different one for the other side. And use this as my estimate. So I've got my 2 pieces already ready to go. And I could just sew pieces onto strips and do this too, but I do want to make sure that I'm not using the same fabric in the block. So that's when the strips are kind of using just strip method, which is called like mile a minute. It can you can get lost and start sewing like pieces together because you got that long strip in here, and you got to find something to sew to it. So I try to just cut random pieces, especially if it's my quilt, because I like more variety anyway. So this is not in here. And then, as I said, I'm just kind of finger pressing and or using my wooden iron. But before I square these blocks up, I'm going to make sure that I press them really good with an iron. Make sure everything is nice and flat. This one, I've got a lot of big pieces here. Gonna cut these off. No ugly green one I'm not gonna keep. You've been used once, that's enough. And I want to sew. I got this strip here that's already been sewn from a previous strip set. I'm just going to lay this up here and sew this onto here. It's almost the exact size that I need here. That's the only thing. You have a lot of strings with crumb quilts. I am constantly pulling up some crumbs. So this is that piece here that I need to sew a piece on the other side, and hopefully it would be 10 inches. So let's do that. And then out of these first 3, I just might have my first set of blocks. Who knows? We'll see. We'll sew this one on and see if it's 10 inches. they do grow pretty fast. This one's at like 9.5 inches one way. And I need a long strip. Will this one work? It's just a little short over there, but I got a trim anyway. Go ahead and do these. My pieces are falling off the machine. This is a little bit quieter now. See if this one's long enough. See, I can kind of eyeball sometimes and see what'll work and not work. Good night, Pam. Just happened to see Tiffany say good night to you. All right, so let's do some measurements here. So this is over 10.5 that way. And on this end, it's just a little bit short. So I need something on one of these longer ends, and we'll be finished with this one. I'm just gonna find something that's a little bit more narrower, I think. Let me make sure. I'm at one end, I need 1.5 inches, but then the other end is very tiny. So, like I said, these blocks are not straight, so I might want to get a bigger piece of fabric to put there. Also, remember on these blocks, you're not supposed to use fabrics that are like reading as black fabrics either. So you got to be careful with that as well. This one's got black in it. I just messed up my stack. Trying to find one. And then I'll just, when I square this up, I'll just save the excess. Whoops, right there. Everything will get recycled back if it's usable. Trying to get these 3 done. Let's see, what time is it? 12:28. Oops, got a piece that needs to go in the trash. So we should be getting close to getting blocks that are finished. So I actually have 4 blocks in the works here. And I need to pull this one back because it's one that I was working on before you all came. So I started with 4 with you guys and had 1 already on my machine. And I'm just pressing all of these seams. If it's a lot of fabric, I'm going to go ahead and trim. Good night, Sarah. Fergie says, I like your shirt. Do you sell that one? I can. I think this shirt was $20. I made it for a few people in my scrap club. I do make it a little, I make it also with the sewing machine being white glitter, that adds $5 on it. Eric, you need to go outside to the party. He says now they playing, got the village people going. Kelly A says, thanks for adding me to the block swap. I have lots of scraps. I find crumb quilting so relaxing. No rules, no patterns, no need for an exact quarter-inch seam, no stress over color matching. Exactly. Tiffany's video is at 92%, guys. He said they even got Granny over there shaking it. Rhonda was saying, tonight I thought about the vets with PSTD. I wonder if the sign worked to deter the noise on the thing. I haven't seen any of those in my neighborhood, so I think only certain areas must have that, certain parts of the country. Tiffany's hoping to start on the block swap in the next few weeks. Okay, so I think I'm caught up with the comments. And it's 10:29 in LA, so you've got some time before your noise starts up. Cherie says, Happy New Year again. Blessings, breakthroughs, abundance, and prosperity. Love you all. Good night. Good night, Cherie. Happy New Year to you. Okay. So I got my 3 pieces. I just finger pressed here. Now I got to use my board to see where we are. Getting close both ways. One way I'm almost at 10. The other way I'm at 9 on this one block. So let me pull some more scraps up here. And just see what fits. So anybody have any New Year's resolutions? Don't worry, be scrappy, Virgie. Okay, I think I need my long pieces again. It's still one person that's got a few more bullets they want to use up. But it sounds like instead of being in my backyard, they're in the yard across the street from, like, this is the block behind me. And so it's somebody on the other side of that street. So at least it's not right behind my head anymore. All of those people have probably gone in. Now they're probably ready to go to bed. A cup of hot tea tastes good. My New Year resolution is to survive. You got that right. You're on that job. Oh, gosh. I wonder what happened to Diane 57. She's supposedly always up. Uh-oh, somebody back behind me again. And Tiffany's outside saying everybody out there playing rap music in her area. Kelly A says, I love to purchase one if you make more. Just a plain sewing machine, no white glitter. I'll either send you an email or message you on Facebook. Okay, Kelly, that'd be great because I need to have a mailing address so I can tell you what the postage is on it. And so email me at teaquilts@teaquilts.com. Happy New Year and good night. It's 1:32 in Maryland. Peace and love. Bye, Damali. Happy New Year. Tiffany says, mine is to get more sleep and try to get on a schedule. You know what? I gave up on the schedule, and I think that was because of me working. And so I just do what I want to do when I want to do it, but I do spend most of my day working. But yeah, I was so sick of having a schedule because I was a research analyst and I had certain things that had to be done by a certain time. I was so happy to get rid of a schedule. I really didn't think I'd be working more hours in a day for myself than I did at my regular job, though. That one was a shocker. This year was so busy that I didn't even get a chance to do a whole lot of... I'm looking... Am I frozen? Am I frozen again? I didn't even get a chance to do a whole lot of personal sewing this year, as you all know from the videos, and that's because I was so busy doing other aspects of my business. It's not just sewing and not just making videos. And I do see that I am frozen. And I hate when I'm frozen, because what's the point? Keep your head down and plow through, Virgie. That's exactly what I'm doing. Surely discharging a gun in a residential area is not lawful. It is not, but it's like so many people are doing it. It's only so many cops. Now, when I get off this live and if people are still doing it, I'm going to start making phone calls, so they're going to have to come make their rounds. But I'm not the only house here. There's other people should be calling too. I hate that I'm frozen, so there's no need for me to keep sewing. I hate that. And I think that that's a YouTube thing. Let me pull you all up since I'm frozen anyway. You can't see what I'm doing. Use my phone for the comments. I'm not frozen there, but I'm frozen on my phone here. Let me go out and go back in. Okay, great. So it's frozen on my phone. Let me close out and then I'll go back in. And for some reason, it don't even want to let me back in. Talk about craziness. My YouTube is just spooling. Says, you're offline. I am not. Thanks, Eric. I just see your message here. I did write her down. And for some reason, I'm able to record, but I'm not able to get my phone to go back in. So let me go back to the screen. Tiffany, you a mess. Eric says, I need a schedule, otherwise I get nothing done. Okay, and thank you guys for letting me know I'm not frozen. Bye, Hi, Duana. Thank you for stopping in. No more buffering. Yay, my video is up. Goodness gracious. But your internet was better than mine. I would go 24 hours sometimes trying to get a video to upload. What is Eric saying about? Oh, you talking about Christmas means he's early for next. What did he say? Let me read it. Kelly, I'm on Hawaiian time, which means I'm late this year but early for next year. Okay. And then Rhonda's saying, Eric, are you fooling Christmas cards in the new year? They will think they got lost in the mail. And then Eric go, oh, hey, Miss Bonita, subscriber of the year. I don't know if she's still here. Oh, yes, she is. She said, I can still see you and hear you. Hey, Eric. Francesca says, STL cops are great, but you don't know the location of the gunfire. It's not worth the call. And you are absolutely correct. And then one time I had called because it kept waking me up. Somebody kept firing a gun. It was just some idiot. Like every half hour, so you'd fall back to sleep. It was in the middle of the morning, and you fall back to sleep in another half hour, you get another gunshot. So I call them, and they asking me, where is it? It's like, how would I know? I'm not looking. But I can tell you the direction, but I don't know which house. It was just up the hill. It's right over her shoulder. What is right over my shoulder? Oh, you talking about the gunfire? Let's see. What is? I must have missed some comments. Hold on. Okay. So it should be getting close for Tiffany with her turn to get some gunshots. Okay, Karen, I see your. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. She was saying where the guns are, where's the gunshots located, and she was saying right over your shoulder. So I got one done. This block is super big, but when I trim this, I'm going to trim it so that I can save this long strip because it can go on another block. So that one's big enough. This one is long enough, but not wide enough. Let's see. It's only about 9 inches. It's wide enough this way, but I need to add more out here. Got a piece to cut off, especially behind a light color fabric. So this one's still just a tad short. This one might be 10 inches, 10 and a half inches. Nope. I need one more piece on this short side right here. All right. So I got my recycled pieces back into the pile over there. Just gonna grab fabric, maybe one more piece on here, and I'm done. what are you going to do with your extra blocks? What extra blocks? You talking about, I got 50, technically right now I have 50 people in the swap, so there are no extra blocks right now. Francesca, what are you talking about? Laura, thank you so much. She says, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Appreciate that. We've got 42. That's pretty cool of you guys. And Tiffany is saying that it's almost time. Yes, for those gunshots. Woo. So, trying to see if I've got, this one's almost 11 inches. Yeah, because you went outside to smoke, girl. You was brave to step out that door. She says, I'm staying outside in the freezing cold for 17 more minutes. Haha. To see the big fireworks on the lake. Oh, you get to see them from your patio. That's pretty cool. My YouTube shows 49 watching now. Yes. I got 48 watching and 42 thumbs up. So, Francesca, what extra blocks are you talking about? Good night, Laura. Happy New Year. Kelly A said we only had fireworks, no gun shops. Suburb of Kansas City. But all of a sudden, I'm hearing a lot of sirens coming and going, oh my gosh, in different directions. Oh my goodness. If you do a 6x8 quilt times, okay, so the extra blocks left over from that. As I said, I banked on like a 6x7 quilt for 42 blocks, hoping that at least if I do the 50 people, that at least 42 of them will show up. And so that's what I'm hoping to do. And any extra blocks, then I will be putting those on the back of the quilt. But Francesca, it wouldn't be a problem for you, because if you were doing it, you're not in it, I don't think, because you make big, huge quilts. Francesca makes some of the most prettiest quilts, and they're all humongous. Just need longer strips now. I'm getting to the edges. So that was a good question. She says she's got to stop huge quilts. We'll see. Yeah, because I'm going to put mine on the back. Anything that doesn't fit on the front, I'm going to put on the back. I do hope that we get everybody's blocks, though. I don't want to have to put any on the back. And if I do get everybody's, let's see, 7 by 7 is 49. I could even do a square quilt, so I'd only have one. So that'd be cool too. Alrighty. This block is finished. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I still got 2 more because I added that other one back in after I kept sewing. I moved you all up because I thought you couldn't see me anyway. But I'm up here reading now. Huge quilts are the way to go, Francesca. Trying to see if this is big enough. Yep, it's wide. Whoops, I keep moving it on the ruler. It's right at that little 10.5-inch mark. I have to be careful when I square that up. And then this way, I need 1 more piece. Or maybe 1. Could be 2 because I'm adding a skinny piece. Just when I add some big chunks, I like to add some small ones back in to balance it out. I'm going to finish these other 2. And what time is it? It's 12:51. Would that make a quilt 147 by 147? No, because I probably it would be 13 times 7. So that'll be a 91 by 91. Trying to see what's my width here. Still need a piece on this side. Oh, I got my strips over here. And then I will probably do all of my signatures last. I won't even worry about those right now. Hi, Wendy Cooper. She says hi from Mount Gambier in South Australia. Welcome. Glad to have you. Thanks for joining chat. We normally chat live on Wednesday nights, but I won't be here tomorrow, so I came on tonight. We normally go at 7 p.m. USA Central Time, just so you are aware. We talk quilting. Sometimes I might do a product review or show what I bought or talk about what I did in the week. So hopefully you'll join my channel. I do have a lot of videos already uploaded on quilting topics and some playlists if you're interested as well. And Happy New Year to you. Okay. This is just at the 10.5. That's why we have that's why we have those strips that we add on, those frames, so you can square them up. But I think it'll work. And then I'm done. I just got this last one that's hanging on my, well, I need to see if it's let me sew some little pieces together, because I need to see if it's wide enough. Gotta check it. And then I'll have 6 blocks done if this is correct. And I just have to do at least 4 more for this month. But see, I did this in 2 hours and chatting with you guys. So think about if I wasn't on live, wasn't worried about the internet not working properly. You can get a lot done on these blocks in a short period of time. Yeah, so I got 6 blocks now. This is the 6th one. And I'm going to call it quits for tonight as far as sewing. So here's number 1 and number 2 And my white is center-ish. It doesn't have to be spot on center, just not up against an edge. It should be some fabric going around your white. Anything that I cut off, like on these larger ones, I will put back into the round. When I cut, I'll cut more. I'll cut so I have more of this fabric so I can actually recycle it back. Just strategic cutting instead of just cutting in the middle. This is number 5 and number 6. And now I will not put my frames on these right now because I want to go to my pressing station, and I probably will spritz it with a light spritzing of starch, press everything so it's nice and flat, and then I will square my blocks up to 10.5 inches before I add those frames on. So that's it for sewing. At least I got something done with you all, because I tend to talk to you all and don't get any sewing done when I'm sewing. Good night, Rose. I think I said that, but I wasn't sure. She says I'm spinning now. I think it's my internet this time. It's been fun. And didn't see that. Otto von Etchman says, what? 9/11 and cool napkin. What are you talking about? Okay, we need to put you, we are going to remove the comment because I don't even know what you're talking about. And hide user on this channel. Goodbye. Have fun. Virgie says, thanks for sewing the blocks. And good night, T and everyone. Good night, Virgie. I don't know what people's purpose for coming in here doing stuff like that. That is just ignorance. No, I did that to Tiffany. I banned him from that person from my channel. When Eric and Diane do it, they put people in timeout. Whenever I see that happen, then I go and I just ban whoever it is. You don't get a second chance on my channel. So, and I thought the first comment I was reading, I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he was talking about some napkin. I'm like, what napkin? Just ignorance. And she says, do you have a moderator? Eric is in here. Bonita, I don't know if she's still here, but Eric is here, I think, and Bonita. They're just not as... Eric only does it accidentally when he drops his phone. And Bonita said good night. I didn't even see that. I'm going back through here. Linda Griffin came in and said, I'm in California. Still another hour here before midnight. So far, it's quiet. So I missed some of the comments. So, but yeah, you know, you got to have, I may have to go back and make more people moderators. Anybody in here want to be a moderator that know how to put people in timeout until I can get them banned? I'll make you a moderator as well. Because, yeah, I don't like that. So if anybody want to be a moderator, just let me know down here. I can assign you right now. So I'm hoping in 2020 that I can do more personal sewing. That's one of my main things. I was doing so much business stuff, just learning all the business aspects of having a business, and you know, still I got to do the taxes for it now. It happened to use my name. It's funny. I don't even know why he picked your name. I guess because you were the last one talking in here or something. That is funny. but it's still not nice. So, and then those people that do that kind of stuff, they tend to have like 20 different fake accounts. And so they just come, they can come right back, but I ban them all. So, yeah, her file uploaded, Linda. I think she said it did after almost 4 hours. So, anybody else have anything? I'm reading comments trying to make sure that I didn't miss anything, so that's why I'm kind of quiet here. Tiffany, you could put Tiffany's Quilting Life, but you need, and then just put your city and state, because we all know that they're going to be 2020 blocks. So we trying not to have that put on the block. I'm sure somebody is going to miss it though. I missed that question, so I'm trying to go back through here, guys. Just to make sure. I think I'm okay now. I got the... Okay. I think I'm okay. If I missed your question or comment, just go ahead and pop it down below. We're not going to be on too much longer. It's actually 101, but I got into this room because the one that I scheduled for some reason just did not work. I think because a lot of people in this area must have gone online at the same time or tried to. Good night, Joyce. Thank you for coming. And Karen says that fireworks are much better than guns. Absolutely. So, if no more comments, I'm going to go ahead and close here. I actually got a long day tomorrow. So, again, we will not have live tomorrow night because I'll be eating dinner with some of my family. I'm not sure who yet. But, so don't look for me tomorrow. I'll be back next Wednesday on a live. I'm not sure if I'll get another video edited before then. I'm hoping that I will, but we'll see. Because like I said, I want to clean out my long arm area. And since I have not done anything in the month of December, everything is really bad because I was sick and it just sat there. And then I started moving stuff to prepare what I needed to do for Christmas. So I've got a lot of cleaning, and I do want to clean. It may not be done all the first day, but I will have it clean for the new year. So good night, everybody. And Linda Griffith says, good night, T. I wish you the best in the new decade. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You too. They must be making that noise over there for Tiffany now. My brother, he's still here. He says, good night, sis, and everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I didn't think you were still here. Are you working tomorrow? Teresa says, thank you and good night. Thank you. Also, if you haven't already on your way out, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button while I'm still holding the chat open. I appreciate it all. Slowing down, Joe is here saying good night all. Good night. Happy New Year to you. And Happy New Year, Teresa, as well. Gwen Spencer, good night. Happy New Year to you too. And Happy New Year, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and close out the chat. I was trying to see if my brother was still on here. He must have posted and popped out. But I will see you all very, very soon. Take care and be blessed.